There we go.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Fikrada?
Good, thank you. Hello, everyone out there. Um, it's your caseworker over from Dreamers Together, Fikreta here, and my teammate, accredited rep Elizabeth Roya, aka Ellie. And we are here. We're going to be answering any general AOS questions that you may have. And for any questions regarding DACA or AP, please head over to our DACA Facebook group.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Maribel.
I shared it on the Facebook group as well. So hopefully
Regarding DACA or
we'll be getting some questions. Please, everyone, feel free to post Espanol, English, whichever you prefer. We're going to be trying to cover as many questions as we can. We only do have about 20 minutes with today's session, so we're going to try to make the most out of it.
Okay, so while we're waiting for those questions, we just want to stress the importance of documentation. If if you have an arrest, obviously you have to disclose it and the outcome of the arrest. Say if it was, you know, say if it was dismissed, you need that dismissal paperwork because if you send an AOS packet to USCIS with an arrest and with no disposition for that arrest, you will get an RFE. And obviously, if you need any advice on an arrest or the dismissal paperwork, definitely contact an attorney.
We do have a list of attorneys that work in all 50 states, and most of these offices are bilingual. So, for those that are Spanish speakers only, feel free to reach out to them as well. They do work online virtually, all 50 states, and they are more than happy to take on your case if it's something that Dreamers Together cannot take. And remember, we can't take all the cases. We wish we could, but some cases are completely out of our scope. Visa U, Visa T, VAWA, consular process. We don't do any of those cases. For those, we recommend an attorney, trustable attorney. We do trust the attorneys that we have in our group, but we also cannot guarantee any results, even though we do recommend these attorneys. We do ask that everybody does their homework on each attorney and go to the one that you feel more comfortable with, okay? Also, please make sure it's a hire at your own risk sort of situation.
Correct.
Okay. Have you been getting any more RFEs on the 40 credits, fee credit?
Yes, I have. But I know I feel comfortable, and I know that they have the 10 years and the 40 credits, and we answer those RFEs by uploading the evidence, by uploading the RFE response into the USCIS account where it says RFE response.
Okay, perfect.
What
How
about you, Ellie?
much? I think the last one that I got was probably about 3 weeks ago, and the reason I got it is because I sent in 40 credits. I've been trying to stay away from 40 credits. Now, I do have a case that I probably just submitted last week, and they haven't sent it to USCIS yet, but that's another one that I am going to be waiting on for an RFE. I try to avoid them if possible, but some of my clients, they just don't make enough income um, combined at all to be able
Yeah.
to do the IA-64. So our only option is either find a joint sponsor, which right now it's very hard to find a joint sponsor, somebody that's willing to, sign and be financially responsible for you for the next 10 years until you become a citizen or until you have your
Yes.
40 credits with the Social Security Administration. So that's also been hard to find. So we're just sending 40 credits, and it's okay because I know we're going to get approved,
Yes.
even though we will get the RFE. So that's
Yes.
also okay.
I already told you about this, Ellie. I've had a couple of clients, and you guys know who you are. Please reach out in our AOS Facebook group and explain, your situation of when we got the RFE for the 10-year and the 40 credits, and when we answered, and you guys did end up getting interviews, and now you're green card holders. So don't be alarmed if you get an RFE for the exemption for requesting the exemption. Just make sure that obviously you do you know you do have those 10 years and those 40 credits. And if you know for sure you do, then they are issued an RFE in error. Go ahead and respond to that RFE. And in regards to interviews, every single case that I have had has gotten an interview. What about you, Ellie? Under
Yes,
this and under this administration, anyway.
yes. Under this administration, I have been getting every single one of my cases, including um child to parent petitions. I
Yes.
am getting those as well.
Yep. Same here. All right. Hello, Nicole Mendoza. Let's see. We received an RFE for income. We've responded to the RFE and the USCIS received it on July 1st. We did mail it in with the 2024 taxes and combined income. Typically, how long until they respond? With hopefully an interview or approval. It has been going on 2 months. Okay, so you're more than likely going to get an interview because, again, under this new administration, I have seen all of my clients get interviews. So once you send the RFE in and you have responded correctly, meaning that you have submitted what they're asking for, um, it could take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or even 5 months for an interview. But the good news is, as soon as you get to that interview, they do move pretty fast. So again, you submit your RFE response, you wait for an interview, and then obviously you attend your interview. Um, the RFE response, it can take them, once you upload it or you send it in to them, it can take them, it can take 3, 4, or 5 months for them to respond with an interview. Okay. But the good news is that they are moving at these interviews. Okay. Okay, Ellie.
Nicole
Yes.
has the same question. Have you
Yes.
been getting interviews?
Yes. We have seen, there was a case where they were married for about 10 years with 5 kids and they still ended up having an interview. So, yes, where, I could understand married couples, but I don't understand why they are issuing interviews for, child to parent cases. But they are, because they are checking for fraud in all cases, whether it be a child to parent case or a married couple case. You can be married for 10 years or more, 8 years or more, and they're still going to issue an interview because everyone is required to attend an interview under the new administration, whether you are a parent, a child to parent, or a spouse to spouse.
That's correct. So you just want to be make sure you're prepared. You're
Hmm.
more than likely going to have an interview versus not having an interview.
Yeah, true. All right, Ellie, how you want to read the next one?
Chris Nunez will be starting my AOS process soon. I know I've seen you in here for a long time now, Grace. Daughter turning 21 in December. What would be your advice? Is there something specific I need to be clear on? So I will say it's kind of hard to provide advice because we don't know the details of your case. The only thing that we know is that you're going to be doing a child to parent petition. Remember that we do have the Facebook guides in the group under the guides tab, and there's also a files tab, and there's a lot of information that you can find there. Um, One of the things that I can tell you without knowing much about your case is that financial portion, 40 credits.
Hmm.
You're going to get an RFE. Most more likely, you will get an RFE. If you're trying to avoid that RFE at all cost, then you're going to have to file an IA-64. If your child does not make enough to cover her household plus you, then you're going to need to combine incomes if she lives with you. If she does not live with you, then you're going to need to find a joint sponsor. And I think that's as much advice as I can provide without again fully knowing your case. But once you start working on your case, and if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to book an adjustment of status general question session with me, if you credit, or our other team members, and we can help guide you on what specific questions once you actually come across them. What do you think, Fee?
I totally agree. The only thing that we can give you advice on is right now on the financial portion of your AOS packet, and exactly as Ellie has stated. All right, so let's see. Hello, Anna. Yes, I got an interview, 10 years married. Yes, so um, you can feel free to share your experience with us. You know, just hop onto our AOS Facebook group and let us know how things went. So yes, it could be 10 years, it could be 15 years, 8 years. Everyone's getting an interview. But thank you for sharing with us, Anna. Yessie, hello, Yessie. Hello, I will be doing AOS through my U.S. citizen son. I have read a couple posts, so I don't get an RFE. I will have to submit 40 Social Security credits in my income. I make enough. I don't need a sponsor. Is that true? I need to submit my income and my credits to avoid a RFE. Okay, so we're reiterating, we are going back to what Ellie said earlier. Yes, see, if you have the 10 years and the 40 credits and you submit for the exemption of not needing a sponsor, then you're probably going to get an RFE. Now, you have to understand that they are issuing RFEs and errors, but you still have to respond to that RFE. So if you submit the exemption because you have the 10 years and the 40 credits, then you're going to get an RFE. You have to respond to that RFE. Now, you cannot submit your income and your credits together. That doesn't work like that. So it's either the I-864, where you and your son combine credits if he does not
Income.
make enough. I'm sorry, where you and your son combine income if he doesn't make enough, you would file the I-864. But you have to be careful because your son has to live with you. Okay? Either you file the exemption, you either file and ask for the exemption by submitting your Social Security statement with the 10 years and the 40 credits, but know that you are going to get an RFE and you have to respond to that RFE. Or have your petitioning sponsor, your son, file the I-864. And if he doesn't make enough, you guys can combine incomes as long as he lives with you. You cannot submit your income and the credits together. They're not going to take the I-864 and the exemption together. It's either your sponsor files the 864 or you file and ask for the exemption based on having the 10 years and the 40 credits. And remember, if you combine incomes, your petitioner has to say live in the household with you, which is your son. Anything else you would like to add to that, Ali?
You got it all. You covered it all.
Okay, so let's see. You can take this one, Ali. Hello, Noemi.
Hi, Noemi. Hey guys, I had my interview yesterday, and when the officer saw my AP document, he said, and I can kind of put the attitude to that. I guess someone didn't get the memo. I am still waiting for an approval on my green card. He didn't get the memo, Noemi. You're going to be okay. Your case should be approved. If it doesn't get approved, the reason is not because you traveled on AP. Okay, that's not the reason. Now, I feel like it's just this is customer service that that you deal with. For example, I can go to a DMV and they can be very friendly, and I can go to another DMV and they can be pretty rude. And that's just the way, unfortunately, that immigration also is. You can get an officer that's nice, that has their personal beliefs, and may interact with the way that they conduct the interview, which is very unprofessional. So in this case, even though that officer made that remark, that doesn't mean that he has the basis to deny your green card. That um that green card case may have to be reviewed by a superior, and when that superior reviews it, it's going to be approved. Now, in case that for whatever reason your green card wasn't approved, let's say because they're saying that you don't have a legal entry, you can definitely fight it because AP and as a legal entry still counts. I have had cases that my cases don't get approved on the spot. I actually have a case, I think they went in interview maybe April or May. I have to go back and we're still waiting. That's just totally normal. I've tried to do out of normal processing times. Every single time I try, it says case is within the normal
Normal
processing time.
processing.
Okay. So if someone didn't get the memo, it was definitely that reviewing officer that you saw. Um, I'm sorry you had that experience, but unfortunately, it's just customer service at this point.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I totally agree. That AP you completed, you came back in with inspection. So anytime anytime an individual comes in with inspection as being, paroled in, whether it be paroled in or admitted, you're still coming in with inspection and they count that as a legal entry. Um, so again, just wait for, their superior to review the case and hopefully approve it. And if they do not, and if they do not, and it is solely on that, not having the legal entry, then definitely you can fight that. Um, and I just want to know one more thing. In regards to processing, we have, you know, cases that are sitting here waiting for the officer to make a decision. I have a case that's been sitting here since February and we're still waiting for the officer to make a decision. I have another case that's been sitting here for a month and we're still waiting for the officer to make a decision. Sometimes, they need to go back and, review the cases, or they could be overwhelmed with a lot of work and it's taking time, even for their supervisors to check the work. Okay. So we have seen cases where they are sitting here for months, pending a decision after their interview. And we also have unfortunately seen cases that are still processing from last year. So, and like Ellie said, we can file an inquiry and they just respond by, stating that the case is within normal processing times. So unfortunately, in these cases, all we can do is wait. And I'm really sorry that you had to go through that, Nohemi, but Ellie's right. It's just bad customer service on their end. Grace Nunes, thank you. You're very welcome. All right, Yadira. Hello, Yadira. Mailed our forms last week. USCIS has mailed receipts for money order. How long do we wait for an access code to add our case to our account? Ellie, if you want, you can chime in on this one and then I'll join you.
I think it's going to be about 7 to 10 business days usually. That's usually. And you should be able to see a copy of these documents under your case status. But I believe that USCIS has been having some glitches because I have a client and they never got their access code, never got their paper receipts, and I can't even see their access code in the system, which I usually can. So if you don't get the access codes within the next 7 to 10 business days, contact USCIS, put an inquiry for missing mail. Hopefully they'll be able to mail it out. But I've also seen that they have glitches sometimes in their system.
Yes, and please understand, if they don't reach out or you don't get your notices for the access code, or if you think there's some type of error, whether it be with your online account number, anything, please reach out to them. You don't want to have your case in somebody else's online account because errors do happen. Okay, so you have to reach out to them, let them know, your online account number, let them know you haven't received an access code. Whatever the issue is, reach out, call them or reach out, chat with Emma and she'll get you over to a live agent, which is a lot faster than calling them.
Rayo. Dice Rayo, buenos días. Tenía una pregunta para hacer la removisión de la Green Card condicional en diciembre 22 de este año se expira. ¿Cuándo será que se puede mandar? Y están ayudando en hacer la revisión antes de mandar la USCIS. Rayo, si el beneficiario, la persona que tiene la residencia condicional o el residente condicional, todavía sigue casado con su esposo ciudadano o esposa ciudadano, tienen que hacerlo, tienen 90 días. El primer día que pueden mandar la removisión, el I-751, son 90 días antes de la expiración. Hay una calculadora que tiene que ser exactamente 90 días. Vamos a buscarlo, pero mientras lo busco, la otra pregunta es si hacemos revisiones de paquetes. Sí, sí podemos hacer las revisiones de paquete. No estoy segura si esté eso en el sitio web de nosotros en www.dreamerstogether.org, pero si no está, puede mandarnos un correo a support@dreamerstogether.org y vamos a poder ayudarla a hacer la cita. Vamos a ver. 90 days. They're doing a removal of conditions 90 days. So I'm trying to look at the filing for when they can file for their green card, but they have a 90-day window.
Mhm.
Now, ahora si el matrimonio ya terminó, ya la pareja ya no está junto, terminó en divorcio, no tienen que esperar esos 90 días, pueden hacerlo antes. I'm trying to find it. No encuentro la calculadora, pero son 90 días. 90 días antes es lo más temprano, es el primer día que pueden mandar la aplicación. Okay. Okay, next question.
Hello, Gloria. My son wants to go to Mexico and look for a job opportunity there. He has never left the country before. What are the chances that he will be allowed to re-enter the country? Um, if your son's a citizen, um, he shouldn't have any issues, obviously, to come back. He's a U.S. citizen. But if he is a green card holder, um, then he has to be careful. And as well, if he's, traveling on AP or anything like that.
Ok, dice, también se puede meter la solicitud de ciudadanía al mismo tiempo que se haga la removisión de la Green Card condicional o esperar a que llegue la Green Card de 10 años para solicitar la ciudadanía. Esa es muy buena pregunta. Encontré la calculadora. Si su residencia condicional, la tarjeta expira diciembre 22, el primer día que pueden mandarlo es septiembre 23. Ese día o después de ese día, antes no se puede enviar. Si sigue la pareja juntos, ¿ok? Si el matrimonio terminó en divorcio, no van a estar aplicando juntos porque están separados, no tienen que esperar esos 90 días. Muy importante de saber. Ahora, no puede aplicar para la ciudadanía hasta que cumpla 3 años con esa residencia, ¿ok? Así es que van a hacer ahorita la removisión de condiciones, el I-751 en septiembre, ejemplo, y una vez que ya cumpla los 3 años como residente, no tiene que esperar a que le llegue la nueva tarjeta, pero sí tiene que esperar a que sean 3 años, entonces va a aplicar para la ciudadanía. Puede tener dos procesos juntos muy importantes, no deje pasar el I-751. Lo tiene que hacer. Si no lo hace y se le vence, entonces pierde el estatus. Tendría que volver a comenzar y es algo que no queremos hacer. She's asking if she can do the removal and the citizenship at the same time. But she has to do removal first, wait until 3 years, and then do the naturalization. Correct?
Yes. And then they can always adjudicate even that conditions of removal at her naturalization appointment.
Ok, perfecto. Y ella está diciendo que le pueden quitar las condiciones en su entrevista o en su cita de naturalización de ciudadanía. So, no tiene que esperar a que le llegue la tarjeta, ¿ok? Porque, do you know what's the wait time on the removal of conditions right now? Close to 2 years?
2 years, and I have a family member that's close to 3 years.
Dice que tiene un caso bueno, un familiar que está esperando casi 3 años. Esto va para largo, so. Okay, thank you for that.
All right, Melissa, Ellie, are y'all doing another AP trip?
For AP related questions, Melissa, tune in
Correct.
to the AP DACA/Dreamers Together official.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
that way you'll get more information on that, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We've been here 24 minutes. A few more
Okay.
questions and then we'll
Yeah.
go.
All right.
Do you see the one for Rocio Edith?
Mm,
There we go. Okay.
Thank you.
Esta también es una pregunta de DACA. Para preguntas de DACA también vayan a la otra página, porque ahí tienen un poquito más de información, pero yo le puedo dar esta información rapidito. Dice, buenos días, por casualidad, ustedes saben por qué están tardando en aprobar las renovaciones de DACA. Yo fui a las huellas y hasta perdí mi trabajo y en la página de USCIS dice que está en proceso. Rocío, desde el comienzo de este año, nosotros hemos venido anunciando que las renovaciones de DACA están demorando más de lo normal y hemos estado advirtiéndoles y dejándoles saber que por lo menos mínimo son 6 meses de anticipación, ya que mayoría de los casos estamos viendo que están demorando de 5 a 8 meses, ¿ok? También ellos tienen un cierto tiempo para procesarlo, Uno puede comenzar a pedir información antes de tiempo, pero por lo regular ellos están saturadísimos, ellos no quieren ayudar si no es que su DACA ya pasó más de tiempo. Así es que muy importante es cuándo lo renovó y cuándo se le vencía. ¿Se dio suficiente tiempo? Por lo menos esos 6 meses que le estábamos recomendando. Si sí se dio ese tiempo y aún así inmigración no ha aprobado su solicitud, puede contactar a su representante de Congreso, su congressperson, y hacer un congressional help. En su sitio web del congresista va a pedir ayuda para que le ayuden con con esta solicitud de renovación de DACA. Puede comenzar a contactar a inmigración y preguntar cuál es su caso, hacer lo que se llama un out of normal processing time. Pero nuevamente, si no se dio ese suficiente tiempo, puede intentar hacer estas cosas, pero hay una posibilidad de que no le puedan o no le quieran ayudar por lo que no se dio suficiente tiempo. Muy importante para las personas que tienen DACA, renueven a tiempo para evitar que este tipo de cosas pasen, porque sí están pasando demasiado. Okay. Her DACA basically got expired and it's still, it's been, she lost her job, and with USCIS it's still saying that it's still processing. So congressional help, out of normal process and inquiry, but please, please, please give yourself enough time because we are seeing that there is a huge delay with DACA renewals. Unfortunately, when your DACA is lapsed, when it's expired, legally you cannot work. And jobs are going to be they're going to be laying off people or putting them on leave of absence because at the end of the day they have to be in compliance with I-9s. Okay? Let me know when you're ready.
Hello, Elizabeth. Just a few more and we'll wrap it up. What is included in your liabilities? Are you pertaining to the question on the I-45 that asks if the household has any liabilities? If you are, they are talking about liabilities, um, any mortgage, you know, if you have a mortgage, if you have unpaid car loans, if you have unpaid school loans, if you have, like I said, a mortgage, those are all liabilities. It would be either for the beneficiary or the petitioner, anyone that's counted in the household on that I-45. They want to know your liabilities, meaning they want to know if you have any debt, any unpaid, school loans, mortgage, credit cards, auto loans. Those are all considered liabilities. Okay, your everyday grocery shopping, that is not considered a liability, but the loans such as, like I had mentioned, mortgage, auto, or school loans, or any type of loan in that category would be considered a liability. Hello, Amelia. There was a divorce filed 2 years ago, but we decided to stay and work things. Then applied AOS. Will this affect me? Divorce was not finalized. It was just filed. It was not finalized. So as long as you weren't divorced, like final, it wasn't signed off, and there is no divorce decree, then that is not considered a divorce. What do you think, Ellie?
You're going to be fine. And the reason I know for a fact you will be is because I actually had a case. And now, of course, we don't put names, we just kind of give you brief information. Case, marriage ended up in divorce. Years later, they found each other again, decided, hey, for a second time, let's work things out, got remarried, filed adjustment of status. Their case got approved. Things
You know,
happen, life
yes.
happens.
And you have to understand that USCIS, they're human too. These things happen in their lives too. They understand, but you just have to, obviously, if they ask you a question or if anything comes up, you have to be prepared to answer them, in a way that makes sense, because you don't want any fraud or anything like that, any lies, okay?
Right.
But again,
That's the
they are,
business.
at the end of the day, they are human and they go through these things too, but you have to respond in a correct way. I'm sorry, Ellie, I totally um, chimed in when you were speaking.
You're fine. You're fine.
Hi, Toby. When are you guys doing another How to Get a FOIA class? Just stay tuned for that, and we'll let you know. Okay, so just stay tuned in our AOS Facebook page, and we'll let you know. For now, just follow the guides that are in there. Ellie, this one's for you.
¿Por qué está tardando tanto la residencia por matrimonio? Mi hijo mandó todo desde enero y no todavía no tiene entrevista. Lucila, es regular. En realidad, los casos pueden tomar hasta 2 o 3 años. Es lo que la página de USCIS indica, que ellos tienen hasta 34, 35, 36 meses para hacer una decisión en los casos. Es parte del proceso, es esperar. Algunas veces sí vemos que unos casos se mueven más rápido que otros, no siempre es el caso. Mi compañera tiene algunos casos que está esperando desde septiembre, octubre. Creo que yo también tengo unos casos de septiembre y octubre del año pasado. Su hijo lleva apenas como unos 8 o 9 meses esperando. Desafortunadamente parece que es mucho tiempo la espera, pero nuevamente es parte del proceso. Hay casos que se van a mover más rápido que otros. Así es como inmigración trabaja, pero que tenga paciencia y ojalá que muy pronto ya le manden una carta para su entrevista. Her son is doing spouse petition and hasn't gotten an interview since January. But that's just, the case with USCIS right now. We have had cases, you have cases that are pending from
Yes.
September, October of last year.
Hmm.
And remember, they also on their website, they're stating that it can take like 35 to 36 months, I think, for them
Yeah.
to adjudicate. That's just their normal process in time right now, unfortunately.
Yes, and unfortunately, like I said earlier, I have someone from August of last year, which is it's pretty sad because it is a you know it's not even the spouse case, but it's just taking some offices longer than others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome, Elizabeth. Okay, so I think that's it for today, Ellie. What do you say?
I think we
Um,
got to a good stopping point.
yes, because we both have appointments we have to tend to, but definitely write down your questions and have them prepared for next week, and we'll touch base with you guys then. Okay. Everyone, have yourselves a great day.
Bye bye.
And for those of you that that have kids and they're going back to school, we hope they have a great year because we're
Yes.
preparing for that on our ends as well. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.